Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to the CHAOS120 live stream for this, the 29th of June, 2018. Well, we've had a very interesting week. It's been a bit like a fever dream, actually, everything that's gone on in the world, both politically and not politically, just things in general, folks. So we got a lot of cover and not a lot of time to cover it with. So really quick, I want to give everybody in here an intro because they all deserve equal time. And folks, if you are not subscribed to these people yet, please do subscribe to them. All right, you know the drill. Now, what you see on the screen does not match what I see on the screen. So when I read the names off, please pay attention. And if you are not subbed, please do sub because these folks are really, they are what makes chaos chaos. I'm just your MC. All right, so we're going to start off with my buddy. He just came back from vacation, so he's going to tell us a little bit about that later. Please give it up for Cass Warfox. Cass, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. Just being a nice little furry faggot, talking about Leaf No State.
Very cool. And of course,
the glorious No State. Yeah.
Well, we're going to hear all about the Ethno State later. And coming to us live from down in the well, in the depths of Chicago, we got the voice of Burnside. Burnside, what's happening, brother?
Trying to eat my lunch with all this goddamn interference and shit breaking down. And the dead bodies, of course. Gotta love it when it hits 90 fucking 3 in Chicago, man. Lord, do they pile up.
Ironically speaking, though, still less than London at this point.
Yeah, true. Speaking of which, how are things on the other side of Chicago, Inquisitor? What's going on with you?
It's going all right, man.
Very cool. Very cool. Of course, you guys know the deal with Inquisitor. While we are talking tonight, you will be seeing models getting crafted of the Warcraft variety. So, excuse me, Warhammer variety. I slipped. Sorry, bro. It's late for me. I've been up since 5. I did catch it before you corrected me. That's good. I'm paying attention.
Space Wolves are best chapter, faggot. Fight me.
You're a Marine.
Yeah. Space Marines.
And up in the Great White North, we have with us tonight, as always, Irving Twin. What's happening, brother?
Bonsoir, mes amis. Ugh. This week.
That good, huh?
Let's move on.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough, as we go on down the line. Now, we have with us tonight a very special guest. I haven't had this young lady on before. This is it's a pleasure for me. We've spoken before, but we just haven't gotten the chance to stream together. So, Pagan, if you want to introduce yourself to the stream really quick and just let everyone know who you are and what you do.
Yes, I'm Pagan Kitten Butterfly, and I haven't done any videos lately, but I very well may be getting back into it. I've done a lot against the feminist movement and a couple of this and that, some funny stuff in between. So yeah, you can check it out and subscribe, like, and all that good stuff.
All right, very cool. Very cool. And yeah, you guys definitely heard the deal, so check out her content, definitely. And of course, we have. I love his new Miami Vice logo. I cannot get over it. We got Purposeful Discussion with us tonight. What's happening, brother?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
You're talking to me.
Hi.
Did you just really? Are you talking to me to the New Yorker?
Are you talking to me?
Purposeful, you got anything new that you put out this week at all?
I'm still suspended from YouTube.
Oh no!
So no.
I'm sorry, man. I was wondering why you hadn't been streaming lately. I just thought that you were really busy at work.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that doesn't stop me from like plopping my ass down in a seat and ranting about news. So, you know,
I like that. News?
True
I guess.
Understood. And we have with us, of course, tonight, everyone's favorite YouTube god of YouTube and the internet, Sir Wolfie.
Hello? Here, get down and worship me.
Pagan, I'm getting some interference from your speakers. You might want to check your settings. Getting a lot of feedback.
Sorry, I was rustling.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
Believe me. Well, wait until Burnside starts romfying. You're going to really wish that that all that was happening was feedback. And, of course, as we go on down the line, we have with us, she's muted right now, but that just means she might actually be driving through the hood. Do we have Terrace in with us tonight? Tara, are you there?
Yep, she's driving through that hood, all right.
Awesome.
On those 40-inch rims of gator skin.
Yes. Tara is currently right now driving her donk through the Everglades down in Florida as she goes and does her ghetto Uber thing. So she'll be joining us later on. But if anyone is interested, Tara is going to later on, of course, tell you she's going to be shilling for her sewing machine. She needs this, of course, to make Burnside his alligator footy pajamas and matching assless chaps that he's going to be rocking at more. So for those of you who follow the show, understand we're going to be going to more. And so you have to help Tara out getting her machine fixed so that we can get Burnside those chaps.
Yeah, just to let all hang out.
I plan on being very comfortable, you bastards.
Comfort is the utmost of creature comforts.
Yes, and of course, I was just about to introduce this gentleman to you folks. The heart, the soul of CHAOS120 we have with us, straight from the workforce, the next 6 minutes. What's happening, brother?
My fucking feet hurt.
Bro, I told you go see a podiatrist. I did it. It did wonders for me.
Okay, I'll do
So,
that.
folks, anyone have anything interesting that they want to bring up really quick before we get into this tonight?
Your mom got him.
Got him.
I have a really good story, but I don't know if I'm comfortable telling it on air.
That's all right. I was there. I'll tell it. So it involves a cucumber, some lube, a back alley at night, and 6 black guys.
Not even nearly as interesting as the real story.
I don't know. That sounds pretty interesting.
I have something.
Irv, I'm really loving the new what you did there with your avatar.
I'm just screen sharing it.
That's the look that he gets on his face when he's been to the chaos theory.
That was the look on his face when he walked down that alleyway.
let me tell you about chaos theory, okay? So my car died.
It kind of looks like,
What's going to happen? Listen,
Oh man,
this is the look on my face earlier today, and I'll tell you why. My car dies. Banks give me the runaround trying to move money to buy another car. Insurance is giving me the runaround, won't even fucking answer my calls. Finally, I have everything set up, the money, the insurance, the car I've been looking at on the website for almost 2 weeks now. All right. I call the dealership and ask them about that car. They say, oh yeah, we don't have it on the lot yet. What?
Did you did you tell him that you were an immigrant and you're entitled to free cars?
Oh, don't even get me started.
I'm just saying, did you try it?
Universal car care? Is that what Canada's coming to?
Universal car care.
Allahu Karbar. Allahu Karbar.
We can't repair your car because the parts for it's too expensive. Let's get this really shitty shit. Yeah, socialism works, guys.
I got a funny story for you guys. So I wound up bullshitting with Foster a few days ago, and I wound up torturing the shit out of this dude because I was telling him about the pizza place over in the neighborhood. I was telling him about Pudgy's, and I was telling him how fucking delicious it is to get a Polish sausage and sauerkraut pizza and all the other good deep dish and crazy shit. And he's just like, fuck you, man. I'm getting a fucking chimichanga, you son of a bitch. It's 3 in the fucking morning and you're going to make me shit beans out as soon as I wake up, you asshole. Oh, it was fucking hysterical. That poor bastard. I'm sure he's going to get me back for it when he has his Hanukkah special or that other episode he's doing for Pride Month. And congratulations on his 300 subscribers. I hope to torment every single one of the poor fuckers.
Rip.
Rip in peace.
So, did you guys see the title I gave tonight's stream?
Ooh, no, I did not. What is it?
Well, it's about two things. It's about one, the new DSouza movie that's coming out, Death of a Nation, about how the Democrats are trying to kill the country. And
sweet, I'm gonna have to see that.
I'm actually thinking of reviewing it. I'm
Dude,
gonna try to see. Yeah, I have to do.
Is America. If you
So-
need a copy, I could probably try and find you one on the net.
No, I mean actually like going to the theater and reviewing.
I'm going to assume the movie's going to be one giant no shit Sherlock.
Yeah, like the rest of it.
Like his other movies. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm Dinesh D'Souza, and if you've been plugged into the internet, you've already seen this movie 100 million times on 50 million YouTube channels. But here it goes again. Let me start from the beginning.
Original.
It
No, but I mean,
looks
I
good.
agree, it's needed, right? Like,
No,
Well,
it's totally.
mainstream media
yeah.
still has this hold, you know?
Yeah,
And-
no, it's totally needed, and I appreciate his work he does, and he's actually really, really good at debate too. If nobody's ever seen him actually like do a debate with other people,
Click.
he's good at that.
I'll definitely give the movie a look. See.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I give that man credit. He's got balls that fucking must clang when he walks, because he made the movie poster where you see it's half of the guy's face is Lincoln and the other half is Trump, and the movie is he's comparing Trump to Lincoln. So
That makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, these Democrats have been going fucking nuts. Since
Well, they
he
are
announced-
both great Republicans.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun. Oh, I can't wait to go. I'm gonna go probably try to see if I can go either into Brooklyn or Manhattan to go cover this. I gotta see these protests.
So you're looking to get like a totally empty theater all to yourself? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just looking to see like the people like running around in the street outside screaming and throwing shit and the silly string, and they got on the fucking colored, like afro, and like they got on the fucking all sorts of weird shit that they wear. It's like the Pride Parade, but they took acid and they had a bad trip. Like, you got to see like the Occupy ICE shit that they got going on over in Van Dam Street over in Lower Manhattan. Holy shit, these freaks.
Occupy
not to throw
ICE.
Not to throw New York under the bus or anything, but isn't New York the origin of the autistic screeching meme?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I had to stay in the house that day. My wife's like, "Oh, aren't we supposed to go?" I said, "I'm not going near your sisters. I'm not going into Queens." I said, "They get all screaming." I said, "You see that shit last night?" I said, "They're probably still doing that shit tonight." Not for me.
Oh, man.
Bunch of crazy bastards.
Little known fact, New York sucks balls.
Oh, thanks.
That's not your fault. It's just
one small island, one island in the middle of my state, and my whole state gets ruined by it.
Look. I'm just saying, like, your sports teams
Oh,
suck.
dude, I feel
your
ya.
comedians suck. Your politics suck. 99.9% of the people that live there suck.
that's a little high, like 98.6%.
All your
Yeah,
neighbors
that's high.
ironically subsequently also suck, probably just by being in close proximity to you.
The New York Strip is good, though.
I'll say this. That's like most metropolitan cities, though.
Yeah, like we've got a few neighborhoods that, fuck it up for the rest of us. I'm surrounded by them. I've got Dalton. I've got Harvey. I've got the bad end of East Side.
Oh, you're
and
the
then-
dumbass that doesn't move out.
Well,
I see
I'm
it both comically and relatively literally. Hegwish is the last stand of a decent white neighborhood. It is the implicit stand of civil identity in the southeast end of the city.
gonna say
It is Harry Potter's owl.
I'm even worse though, dude, because comparatively speaking, I don't have fucked up people. I have the rich bitches up here in the northwest side. Oh man, And it's like, no one knows how to drive a car in Northwest Chicago. Period.
No,
If
you
he has
have
rich
the
bitches,
fucked up
maybe-
stuck up.
No. If he's got the rich bitches, he needs to get himself a sugar mama.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Please, it's for me.
I don't know. She might be too stuck up.
You know,
Well,
if she's paying the bills, I'm okay with it.
Well, yeah, stuck up broads, nothing fix them like a good boning.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take a stuck up neighborhood where I don't have to worry about getting shanked every time I go for a walk over, a neighborhood that's not stuck up where I have to worry about getting shanked every time I go for a walk. I'm just throwing that out
We're
there.
talking about where I'm from, man.
Man,
Just
I will take
just throwing that out there.
over those aristocratic sons of bitches that live over by Inquisitor. At least, with the crackheads that are going to go around over in South Shore shank people. All I got to do is fucking look at them the wrong way and just make a reach for my trench coat, and they go fucking half hobbling in the other direction. Or
No.
I used to tool around in Burnside, around that, down in Wrigleyville and like a little bit more to the center of the city. I used to tool around there quite a bit. That kind of shit doesn't shock me. Someone who's gonna walk up and try to shank me, I'm prepared for that sort of thing. The thing I'm not prepared for is some asshole running me down when I'm a pedestrian in a fucking BMW, which has happened,
right?
Yeah, talking about shanking
dude.
people. When I was living in Grand Rapids, Michigan, there was a guy holding me up with a knife, and I just look at him. And he goes, "Give me your wallet." I'm like, "No." He goes, "I got a knife. Give me your wallet." And I'm like, "You're holding it wrong. I can get it out of your hand."
That's funny. That's funny as fuck.
So he just goes, "Why?" I'm like, "Look, dude, I'm ex-military. Do you really want to fuck with me?" He goes, "Oh, sorry."
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, Canadian.
Oh, hey, you Chicagoans, is that what you're called? And New York people, you might actually be surprised to discover that there's something of a gang war happening in my city right now. 2 shootings a night for the past week and a half.
Shit.
That's
Sorry.
pretty big for Toronto.
I was gonna say 2.
Wow.
We're putting on our big boy pants.
Hey, has your economy collapsed up there yet?
What's that?
Has your economy collapsed up there yet?
No.
Not yet.
Not
Give
yet.
it time.
I think these gang members are fighting over maple syrup territory.
No, they're fighting over who has to apologize first for the shooting.
Who gets to eat in Tim Hortons and who doesn't?
Here's the thing, Irving. You got to understand. We give all of the Canadian shit like this in the Minions, so
No, it's actually a heroin thing. We're given to understand heroin trade. Probably the same heroin trade that Scooby's experiencing in New York. There,
I gotta get my cat.
And it's almost like when your president says, "Hey, we'll take all the immigrants that America doesn't want." You get all the drugs and rapists and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's weird how that works.
least
It's almost like Donald Trump was right.
We got 2 towns known for an urban legend. The urban legend is called the Bunnyville Diet. All it is ski and meth.
No joke. Look it up on Urban Dictionary. Bunnyville Diet. It'll tell you.
Hey, Tara.
Fuck off. I already see it.
All right. You want me to ask? How it is.
Yeah, I know. And Death, you think this is funny? You might get cooked again tonight.
What did I miss?
Oh man, it hurts. It's too funny.
So that Rod Rosenstein fella, huh?
Oh my god, that was so much fun to watch.
Nothing?
Wow.
Nobody?
I'm not familiar with this one, no.
Holy
Did you
shit.
hear about
Well,
this?
you're Canadian. I don't expect that.
Like I said, this week's been kicking my ass. What I miss?
Yeah, none of the Americans here? Ooh.
Purposeful, bro, lay it on. Because I know you wanted to talk about it, so go right ahead. I ain't gonna steal your thunder.
I know Styx made a video. Just I didn't actually watch it this morning because I had to go to work.
I
Oh,
watched
and
the actual
Scooby,
footage. What?
you broke a promise.
Well, I did.
Yeah, you forgot to send Tyro a link.
Oh, I know. I talked to him. I asked you guys. I said there was something I couldn't remember.
Well, I wasn't here.
I know.
So I
It's
sent
all
him a link, and I told him to hop in when someone hops out.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he had hit me up, and then that. Why didn't I think of that? Duh. Yeah, Cal, I'm going on no sleep.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Katrina wanted me to get her some carrot cake and M&Ms, and I got the carrot cake, and I got me some cake. I got like chocolatey cake. And
Nice.
On the way back from dropping off the neighbor, I'm sneezing my head off and falling asleep at the wheel at the same time. I'm like, okay, it's time to go home.
Yeah, last night while I was talking, I was waking myself up. So I'd wake myself up like every other fifth second. It was really weird. So my brain was an autopilot, and I was just talking, and I just kept waking myself up. But
You need to tell yourself to shut up and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So Rod Rodelstein, what's his name?
Rosenstein.
So that Rod Rosenstein fellow, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Well, I was kind of hoping to hear other people's opinions, but apparently nobody else fucking pays attention to what's going on in this damn country. So
No, I don't really give a shit.
Dude, by the time I saw Stick Texan Hammer's video up, I was already on my way out of it.
Yeah, look. I had a regular people week, right? And I understand now why people don't know the shit. They literally just don't have time, right? So they believe the one thing they hear on the radio station or the television station they trust, and they don't have time to look further into it. That's why we're looking to you, because you seem to know something about it.
that's a terrible excuse. I have I work 50 hours a week. I have a garden that I do, which probably takes another 10, 15 hours of my week, and I still have time to understand what's going on in this glorious country of ours.
Not everyone's of the same.
Called being an informed voter.
I know that's difficult for you to comprehend, being at that level. Why aren't other people at that level? Some of us just
No one
aren't
else
capable.
is as great as me. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Something.
Look, if everyone was as great as you, we wouldn't have any problems.
That is very true. I know you're being ironic, but that would be incredibly true if that were the case.
We'd all be living in the ocean, and we'd be half fucking porpoises.
I don't like swimming that much.
Right.
Well, you don't have to swim. Your body just naturally does all the work.
Nah, I'd rather be a mermaid.
Yeah, I'll speak for yourself, man. I sink like a stone.
I don't know about you, but I'd rather not be the mystical thought of the universe, to be honest with you.
Hey. Think about
Well, great culture. Well, purpose. I'll meet you halfway, and I'll actually read an article about Rosenstein.
Ooh, this should be interesting.
It's by the Daily Caller.
Oh,
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it actually, if there's any lean. Anyhow,
no, we'll get the typical narrative from the Daily Caller. So
yeah, pretty much. So here is the typical narrative version of events. Republican Texas Representative Louis Gohmert believes the government personnel working for Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein are spying on his office. He told WMAL's Morning on the Mall Friday, quote, "I don't doubt for a minute that he has people who have been looking into my background. I've been told as much by some other folks," Gohmert told WMAL host and Daily Caller editorial director Vince Colignes. I like that name. Colignes. Gohmert continued, "I've had people work for the government saying they know everybody that comes in your office." Okay. Interesting wording. The congressman caveated that he did not believe any such operation was overseen by Rosenstein personally, but it was people who worked for him. There's always deniability, he said. Gomert's comments came after Rosenstein's testimony before House Judiciary Committee Thursday, where he has repeatedly pressed on his role in renewing the FISA warrant on former Trump staffer Carter Page. A spokesman from the Department of Justice did not respond to a request for comment.
Okay. Jesus. All right.
Okay, so Rod Rosenstein is the deputy attorney general, or not attorney general, but the deputy at the Department of Justice. What are you doing? Stop! Come back down here! Stop!
I kind of find it funny that
he's trying to return to his people. What's that?
I think it's funny this guy's like, he has people spying on me. Chances are all these dumbasses work in the same building, so it's probably nothing at all. He's just, being a typical coked up Democrat, and he's like, the Republicans are spying on me with their evil Nazi Trump eyes.
No, there's two very distinct narratives going on right now. The pundits on the right think that Rosenstein is and all the people at the FBI there, they think that only the corruption's at the top and stuff, and they're like, James Comey and Robert Mueller and Rosenstein, they're all the corrupt ones, all the paper pushers and all the little guys down the rung, they're all the good guys, blah blah blah. It's like probably not a very accurate picture, but that's fine. They say that because they don't want to look like they're anti cop or whatever, because basically like the lower rungs of the FBI are pretty much just like police. And also they kind of have a vested interest in not expending that, like our entire Federal Bureau of Investigation is like absolutely corrupt as fuck, because one, that makes our country look bad, and two, they probably just don't want to say it because they don't want to think it's true, because that would be actually unironically be very terrible. The reality of the situation is absolutely bad.
The reality is they all need to be tried for treason and then publicly executed.
Yeah, the reality is the entire organization needs to just be completely barred from existing.
I think we're past that point on who is supposed to be uncorruptible and corruptible. I think the whole tree is pretty much rot at this point.
Right, yeah. That's why we need a reset.
I agree.
So anyway, obviously the people
commit exterminatus on the FBI.
FBI, I did not say that. That was not me. That was, I am not the guy who said that. Just in case you're listening. Anyway, and then you have the common narrative on the left. They love Rod Rosenstein because he's working with Mueller, and they think that Mueller's got the dirt on Trump, and it's all going down soon, and all this other stuff. So they willfully and very ignorantly just think that everything's all peachy keen. The reality, the situation from how I see it, mixed in with my theory from what I see. I'm dying. 1 second. Okay, I'm good.
No, don't die.
No, he got shot in the head twice and fell down a flight of stairs, guys. It was totally suicide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a mugging where they left all my personal belongings. But anyway,
but they cut off your dick.
Yeah, but they cut off my dick. Yeah, I killed myself, shot myself in the back of the head twice, and then cut off my dick and put it in my mouth while also hanging myself. So yeah, that happened. I also left a death note in my pocket, written in crayon. It was in Hebrew for some reason. That's weird. I didn't know I knew Hebrew. Oh man. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, so basically we have an impasse. The right hates Rosenstein because they think that he's the center of all this corruption, and he's the one who keeps a lot of this stuff going, and he's got the power to end it, and blah blah blah, this and that. The left love him because they think that the hammer's coming down on the Trumpster and stuff, which is it's pro tip, it's not. So what we have in reality is multiple people saying multiple times at multiple different levels of the investigation, all the way from the fucking top to pretty much the fucking bottom, of people literally saying verbatim that Donald Trump is not under investigation. I don't know how many times this needs to be said, by how many fucking people this needs to be said by, for people to understand that Donald Trump is not under investigation.
Well,
maybe try it in Chinese.
Yeah,
If you repeat the lie enough, it'll be true, and then there will be an investigation on Trump. I don't know.
Though, Cass, I will say, when it comes to those who are the most deeply infected by Trump derangement syndrome, the fantasy is far greater than an actual reality.
Oh yeah, I know.
She can still win it, guys. She can still be president.
I'm still with her.
Still.
I bet there's a T-shirt right now that says, I'm still with her. Please, for the love of God, let it be her this time."
Oh my God. So anyway.
No one expects a Yefquisition.
So the facts, so the facts are that Donald Trump himself is not under investigation for anything, right? Just sorry, I hate to break your enthusiasm there. Donald Trump knows this. He said it several times at his rallies. He said it several times in tweets and several times in media. And like, this has been expunged like multiple times. People just choose to completely fucking ignore it.
Because federal fifis wanted Trump to lose. Oh.
Right. So this investigation keeps going on, though, right? And indictments keep getting handed out. Now, of course, people on the right are like, oh, there's a lot of people, a lot of the higher up pundits who are like, oh, well, Donald Trump has the power to stop this. And it becomes this back and forth on both sides of the media. It's like, if Donald Trump stops it, that's justice obstruction. And then the other side's like, well, he's within his legal right. And it's literally an argument about fucking nothing. It's an argument to fill fucking time and to keep people divided on what's like actually fucking happening. I have no idea. It's airtime advertisement grabbing fucking just dollars is what it is, because the reality of the situation is Donald Trump knows that he's not under investigation. Why would he step in and stop this, right? Why would he, one, risk even the backlash, even though it would be completely manifest? I mean, he is within his legal right as the president, as the head of the executive branch. Don't get hit by that train, by the way. To stop all of this. He can fire Rosenstein, he can fire Mueller, he could fire them all. He's not going to, because he's not under investigation. He wouldn't if he was even under investigation anyway, because I'm pretty sure he didn't do anything. He knows he didn't do anything. He knows they ain't got shit, and it just doesn't fucking matter, right? So I've seen Trump with Rosenstein several times, and the media portrayal on both sides is that they don't get along. They just hate each other. Like, they're at each other's throats and all this. But I've seen them do, like, they have these meetings and press things where, like, they invite the cameras in and they have these round table discussions. I think the most recent one was on like MS-13 or some shit like that. And like, they talk to each other and they're fine and they share the same ideals and like all this other stuff. Like, these two people, Donald Trump and Rod Rosenstein, they get along. I'm telling you this right now. They get the fuck along. There's an investigation going on into some very high ups people, and a lot of this stuff completely gets ignored. One of the people that's being investigated, right, is the guy who headed Hillary Clinton's fucking campaign. The John Podesta fucking and his brother. Like, they're part of this investigation. This isn't an investigation against the right or the left. This is an investigation against basically the fucking swamp. So they're not going to come out and say this. And Rod Rosenstein honestly, I think is brilliant. This is going to, once all this stuff comes out, this is my theory, that all this stuff's going to get flipped. I'm sure a lot of stuff's going to get covered up, mind you, because it's still politics. But my theory is that when all is said and done, there's going to be people on both sides who are going to get drug into this very publicly, and Rosenstein obviously can't say too much because there is an investigation. If he says stuff about the left, then obviously the media is going to backlash and turn on him, and they're going to start spinning. And nobody wants that, right? Nobody who's doing an investigation wants that. They don't want the information to come out, anything like that. Like, I totally get that. On Trump's behalf, I'm sure he already knows all this shit any fucking way. So he's probably like, yeah, fucking play it up. Who cares? Like, don't give the media anything. Like, I've seen Trump multiple times to multiple different people say exactly things like this. Like, what was the one fucking meeting? I can't remember the last time he said this, but someone said he was like, just go do this or whatever. And he's like, well, people aren't going to like that. He's like, I don't care. I'll take the flack. You go say it. I'll take the flack. I don't care. Because he doesn't care. Yeah, that's what he does. That's who he is. He just doesn't give a shit. This chaos. He manipulates all of this fucking chaos, and it ultimately always ends up working in his damn favor. Trump and Rosenstein are at odds. I really don't think so. Yeah, I think they both actually very much so get along. I think that some people worked for Trump's campaign, which, to be fair, he didn't vet all of those people. He's the guy who's doing all the work. You hire other people to hire these people in, right? It's very business-like operation. Like, if I owned a McDonald's, right? Like, I can choose as the CEO, like, who sits around my round table, but then I choose someone at the round table to choose someone else, to choose someone else, to choose someone else to manage the store. So if the store manager, like, spits in somebody's food or whatever, like, as the CEO of McDonald's, it's not necessarily my fault. Like, ultimately, I'm responsible because it's my company, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not like I knew the fucking guy or I'm the one who directly hired him or whatever. So mistakes can be fucking made. So I'm sure Donald Trump understands this, having been in business for fucking ever, right? And he's also said multiple times, recorded publicly, if there was anybody that was in my campaign at any point in time, no matter where they were, at the top or the fucking bottom, I want to know. And if they did anything illegal, I want them in jail. So he's totally fully on board with this stuff. In reality, what you see on TV, what he puts on his tweets and shit, that's all for show to keep people fucking just, he's juking and fucking driving. Like, that's all he's doing. He's playing the fucking game, and he plays it brilliantly.
And he's taken responsibility, even though, you know, it's not directly his fault. He's taken responsibility, and it's like, you did wrong, you're gonna pay for it. Unlike on the other side there, you know, she's squirreling around and doing what she thinks she can or has to try to win the election.
So I just had a Brian Setzer flashback.
What a fucking shock.
What?
And this is going to be a major thing, because when this is all said and done and all of the final indictments come out, and there are people on the left and there are people on the right and there are people from other countries who it's not going to matter. All the Russians who have been indicted, they're not going to fucking come over here to face charges. Like, hey, we got a subpoena over here in a totally other country. You mind showing up so you can go to our jail system and stuff? No, I had a feeling you might say that, so, you know, whatever, we tried.
Yeah, come to the country. We got nice one card, everything for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when all is said and done, some people will face jail time, some truths will be known or whatever, but the media is going to be salty as fuck. They're going to be salty as fuck. And it's better for all of us, right? If we don't let them pound Rosenstein into the dirt and finally get like the information that they want and stuff, so that they have a chance in the next coming months to start softening their blow and spinning the narrative like, oh, well, you're making excuses and stuff. It's better when this stuff hits the fucking fan, like all on like a day and shit, and everybody has a chance to like start like talking about it, instead of just like one particular side getting a chance to just start spinning their narrative for like 6 months straight. That's how things turn out very badly.
Yeah.
Six, what were you saying about Brian Setzer?
I think a porpoise, you inadvertently recited lyrics from a Brian Setzer orchestra.
Yes, totally inadvertently, because I don't listen to Brian Setzer orchestra.
He's a nice guy in person.
What was the lyrics?
It was that dippin' divin' thing.
Dippin' and diving? Oh, juking and jiving?
Yep.
That's what you do in football, man. You just fucking juke and jive. Stiff arm them bitches. Shouldn't be using football references because the whole fucking
jive
trash now.
Whale is the song.
Jump, Jive, and Whale was the song you did. Yeah, I told you he's from my neighborhood, right? When I was a kid. Yeah, we used to. He was my father's best customer. He'd be there every Friday because he's Catholic, so he wanted crabs because that's he'd sit there with his blue claw crabs, he'd get like 2 dozen, and nice guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the Pope got arrested today. Like, is that true? I didn't look it up because I don't care, but no, I'm not kidding that somebody told me that the Pope got arrested. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I mean, it's from the internet, therefore it has to be true.
The only arrest that I want to hear involving the Pope is cardiac arrest.
Because I mean, that would be an international. That would be an international incident for any country that would try.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Nah, I'm just hoping one day the Pope be like, Fox of femboys are a holy thing. You need to respect that Fox of Bodhi.
Well, this Pope might do that. Give him time.
I just like to see. I like to see the video where Pope Francis is walking with his homies, and all of a sudden, one of his arms goes numb. Holy shit! I think I'm having a heart attack.
Left side of his face droops down.
Yep, and then he falls down a flight of stairs.
Well, Death Harukin in chat said it's not true, so I'll go with that.
You probably
He's
did
looking.
a quick search.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything on
it
the search
was
results anyway.
There was kind of a lull in conversation, so I thought I'd be like, hey, you know what might get some responses?
Dead popes.
The Pope getting arrested.
Oh,
and it did. It got some responses and filled some airtime. So
yeah,
you're welcome, Francis. That's what happens when you don't take your omega-3s.
You did good. Oh, jeez.
Well, there's the other half to the name of the stream. Then that was. Did you hear what Stuttering John did? Stuttering John. He's the stand-up comedian that's on the Howard Stern show all the time. I love it. Again, this is another guy from my neighborhood. He lives over in Massapequa. So this fucking moron, he calls up and he pretended he was Senator Bob Melendez, and this fucking idiot did this stunt and got Trump on the phone and does a really good impersonation of the senator. And apparently Trump was going over classified information with this putz over the air. So
what the fuck?
What?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck.
All right, that's it. That's jail. Throw it in stupid fucking jail.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
You gotta have better
fucking
judgment than do something stupid like that.
What a retard.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably still in detainment by the Secret Service as we speak.
I hope they're tasering his balls.
If he's in containment, then how the fuck are they allowing him to be put in that position when he can do that?
Contrary to popular belief, some laws just aren't worth it.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, Stern has always been able to get the phone numbers for the White House. He always has, because I remember I was younger than you, Cass. I was working, I think this is back in like 97. I was probably about 18 years old. I was working at Island Carpet, the same place that in the Biggie Smalls song. And when I was working there, Howard Stern comes on, and they were thinking about letting Roman Polanski back in the country. And he goes, "I'm going to take care of this." And so you hear him hitting the buttons on the phone, and he's dialing, and you hear somebody pick up on the other end, and they're like, "Hello." It was fucking Clinton. And yeah, he called Bill Clinton on the air and started like chastising him. He's like, "You better not let Roman Polanski back in this country. I got 3 daughters," and started lacing into him. But I'm just saying, like that, he had how the fuck, and he even said to him, "He's like, Howard, how the hell do you have this number? This is an enlisted number." And he goes, "Mr. President, I'm Howard Stern."
You know what's what's funny? Then it'd be great if it happened, because I'm not really a fan of Howard Stern, but this isn't going to happen. But what totally could happen if we lived in a justice system where everybody got the same treatment as like people who actually like work and stuff, like it's just us normal people that pay taxes and shit. If we lived in a country where we had fair and equal law, Howard Stern would be jailed right now. and they would be finding out who actually gave him the number to the White House, and they would jail them too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because this is conspiracy to defraud the president of the United States, which I'm sure is punishable by some very severe things. Because conspiracy to defraud just basic like businesses and stuff is actually a really severe crime. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's done it to 2 presidents already. You know, as much as I don't like Bill Clinton, you know, law is the law. You know, if he's fucking trying to hamstring him on the air to not let Roman Polanski into the U.S., it's like, yeah, I like you're trying to do the right thing, but you're doing it the wrong fucking way, dumbass.
Yeah.
Call him when you're off air, and then just, you know, go on air later and go, hey, you know, well, I just so happened to meet Bill Clinton over at this bar that, you know, and do something fucking stupid like that, you know, so you don't get yourself incarcerated, dumbass.
I just, you know, you'd think that this asshole would have figured something like that was going to happen. You're calling up pretending to be a senator. Like, what the hell did he think was going to happen?
You know, the dumb bastard probably thinks with all the anti-Trump, pro-communist propaganda going out there that some Maoist little fuck that works for Bob Avakian is going to go and bail his sorry ass out or some shit.
I don't think he would actually be wrong, considering how crazy the left will do anything to help anyone who goes against Trump. So I don't think he's wrong there.
I mean, all he'd probably have to do is Photoshop or actually burn an American flag and start trying to say some pro-Maoist gibberish bullshit in Chinese, and then, you know, everyone would be like fucking hashtagging, you know, Howard Stern something or other and shit, and they'd have him bailed out in like a day or 2 flat.
Yeah.
You know, and they'd have a great red parade for him too.
Red parade, he says.
Yeah, I love a red parade. You know, we get the red carpet, the red guard that's over in your neck of the woods over there with that old ancient fucking general over there who should be hung for just being in the country in the first fucking place, along with everyone that works in this goddamn charity. And, you know, they'll get Dead Bodies Matter and all of them to go and, you know, march and be the banner guard and stuff. While they get the Antifalings to get together with their pots and pans crew from a huge Asters and to start doing, you know, a jamboree dance. And Howard Stern will come walking out, waving his arms around in this goofy orange Hillary Clinton-looking jumpsuit thing that looks like it was made in China, which probably was made in China. And he'll be, oh, yeah, fuck Trump, yeah, thank you. Oh, praise Mao Zedong. Oh, Pol Pot was a great guy. He'll make Cambodia great again with communism. Woo! And all sorts of stupid shit like that.
Damn, Burnside,
and,
you have one overactive imagination.
You know?
I've got nothing better to do here.
Yeah,
so
and I read
because he's drinking the Chicago water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
fuck. There's actually
Which
fluoride.
unironically is 99% piss.
It's about good 15% piss, 10% unprescribed drugs, 5 to 8% on any given day street drugs that have just not been filtered out in the water. Then you've got sewage. Then you've got another 10 or so percent sewage. The rest is a combination of Lake Michigan and weird fluoride mixes and shit like that.
Oddly enough, it's 3% apple cider vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just wanted to address something really quick that was in the chat because Craig Bragg brought up a very good point, and so did Tom Pinoid. Basically, the White House does belong to the people, so technically there really shouldn't be too much of a problem with Stern contacting Clinton. Even though the number wasn't listed, I mean, that's not really a crime, but there is a difference between that and what this schmuck Stuttering John did with calling Trump on Air Force One.
Hold on, because this is retarded, right? I don't even want to get into the argument that the White House belongs to the people because it's federal property and it's kind of like ultimately it does belong to the people. But the private secure classified phone line that goes to the office of the head of the executive branch of the most powerful country on the planet, that's not public property. I'm sorry. Yeah, you might pay for its upkeep and stuff like that, but just because that happens doesn't mean you get to know what the fuck is said on that phone line. I'm sorry. That's just that's literally not how it works. That's not how it ever will work, and that's not how it ever should work. So yeah, no.
Yeah. Fair enough. See, but either way, though, the thing with the plane is beyond the pale with that. It's just, one, how the fuck did he get the number for Air Force One itself? He spoke to Jared Kushner also before he spoke to Trump. So, I mean, just the fact of how far he took it. I mean, the thing with Stern, it wasn't a bit. It wasn't like a skit or a joke. It was literally Howard Stern calling Clinton as Howard Stern. This was a whole different ball game. I mean, hell, even though the fact that he's known as a comedian, you get some judge and some prosecutor, they're not going to give a fuck. They could actually. He's federally impersonated a United States senator. This is a big fucking deal.
That's
the cross. When you try and impersonate somebody and you get your hands on classified stuff, that's a problem.
And you divulge it on air live as it's happening.
Yeah, that's supposed to be classified information for a reason. As much of an anarchist as I am, I got to give this one fucking system as much as my guts turn.
This has really nasty potential. This is gonna go from fucking numbers to like any active wars we could be in the future, getting plans and stuff doxed out there for enemies to use and more potential casualties.
What if this guy impersonated like Kim Jong-un and he called up the White House and was like, "Oh, Trump, I fucked your mother. Her pussy was tight as fuck," and he literally just started like World War III.
Yeah, this guy's head would probably be a high price. Yeah,
that could happen. Yeah, or what if this jagoff decides he's going to impersonate Mattis, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. President, sir, need orders to go take care of business, sir. Go kill them Al Qaeda's over ISIS and so on and so forth."
Or calls him up and said, "Yeah, we just got confirmed that 3 ICBMs from a Russian submarine off the latitude, longitude of X and Y is fucking heading our way, and they're equipped with thermonuclear warheads."
Yeah.
Come on, this is some serious shit. Like, I know the dude did it in jokes and whatever, and like nothing major happened, but this is why this shit is secure in the first fucking place, and this is why there's heavily backed laws that should, like I said, if we live in a country where the things that happen to me should be the things that happen to everybody else, legally speaking. But unfortunately, we don't live in that type of country because people with money, they don't even know what the law is. They're like, law? that's a thing that poor people have to deal with.
Oh, the law.
Fucking faggots. Having to deal with the law and shit. What a bunch of poor faggots having to deal with the law and shit. Fuck them. Then their stupid rules. I've got money.
Those rules. I
can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, pretty much. It's ridiculous.
Instead, you get all these people who are all super about that 99.1% shit, going to fucking all the fucking rallies and shit not just a fucking decade ago. Oh, these rich people, they get away with everything. Now what do? They literally fucking sit at the fucking feet, lick the boots, and suck the turds out of the asshole of all these fucking rich people because all they have to do is be like, "Trump, am I right?" And they're like, "Oh, we love you."
Oh man, funny how that works.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. It's almost like all those years of me saying that the masses are fucking retarded and literally need to be washed away from history. It's almost like I was, what's the word? Right. Yeah, it's almost like I was right. Anyway, how about them? How about them Dodgers?
For the Dodgers.
Why? How are the Dodgers doing? I don't even know.
I don't fucking know, dude. What is the Dodgers? Isn't that baseball? Baseball's so fucking shitty.
LA Dodgers, screw them.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the LA Dodgers? I thought it was the New York Dodgers.
No, it was
the Brooklyn Dodgers until 59.
Oh, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah. See, that's literally how much I don't like baseball. That I only know the Dodgers as the meme team that it used to be.
The Dodgers are the jackass team that plays the Phillies a lot, and I don't like them.
Baseball is just boring as fuck. Like I would unironically rather watch like golf than baseball.
Since you brought up the Dodgers, I don't usually bring it up much just because I don't ever talk about it. But just to give you an idea, I emphasize this point when I talk to people all the time about how much these athletes get overpaid. When my father was a younger man, when he first got out of the Navy, he was working for the union, driving the mixer during the week. And after, because he was still single, after he was done working, he still played baseball semi-pro in the league. So, a lot of guys still do this around here. They get off work and they throw on their uniforms and they go play baseball for a couple hours a day, that sort of a thing. And so they used to play up over at Ebbets Field before they tore it down and put the projects there. So they played in it's a weekend warrior league. They have them all over this around here. I don't know that. I'm guessing they might have them out by you guys. It kind of looks like a little league, but it's all grown men. It's kind of weird looking with their uniforms on. But they would have league baseball here, and the old man used to play at Ebbets Field. So a guy had approached my father, and he said, I represent the Dodgers. I was watching, and my father had, I guess he must have really had a hell of a swing or whatever, because the guy asked him if he was interested. Now, this is the thing. My father told me, I said to him, Dad, why didn't you at least look into the offer? And he said to me, Pachorta, back then, he said, this is 1958. He said, the amount of money I was making in the union, he said, I would have had to take over a half, an annual pay cut to play baseball. There's a movie that emphasizes this point. It's called 61. It was directed by Billy Crystal.
Barry Pepper.
Barry Pepper as Roger Maris. And was it Thomas Jane? Was he Mickey Mantle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Excellent movie. But it's the two of them and somebody else, I believe, who's the shortstop. Now, this is Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. And you'd think that they had money, but back in 61, you got paid so little to play baseball that they were actually sharing an apartment in Hell's Kitchen, and
you'd have a winter job.
Yeah, working full time, and that's the thing. Because I didn't know this at the time, I thought baseball players always had money. My father said no. He said, had I known, but he said I would have actually played my entire career and retired before free agents would have came anyway. He said, so I would have actually not even, he probably would have been famous, but he wouldn't have had near the money he has, he had at that point, because there was no endorsements back then, so it was a whole different ball game. Excuse the pun, but
it was America's favorite pastime. It wasn't a sport.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. That's what it was. And that's what he told me. And to me, it's just amazing. Hey, would you like to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers? No, sorry. I got a great job driving a truck. Well, you wouldn't think that sounds insane. What type of, but then you realize at the time, it would have been such a loss. Literally, anyone, if he would have told people that, they would have looked at him like, Junior, you out of your mind? You had a great job. What would you throw it away for that?
Yeah, it's a far cry from how it is now about being able to be paid multi-millions of dollars to play a game.
Go out on your first game after your contract, sprain your leg on a quote-unquote accident, sit on the bench for the rest of the season, still make $6.5 million. Wooled, sign me up, please.
Yeah, I'll do that any day.
Yep. Has anybody seen, it's going around on Twitter, the Dealbreakers in 5 words?
Oh, yeah. I took part of that.
Did you?
What was that exactly? I've been on vacation, so I don't even know. Or maybe I'm just retarded and I haven't seen it yet. It's been a for weeks.
It's
Can
like
it be both?
It's like putting down what you would say are deal breakers for a potential date in 5 words.
Hashtag deal breakers in 5 words.
Yeah.
Smaller than a D cup.
Well, I put on Warhammer costs too much money. That Warhammer board game thing. Painting miniatures is a waste, and I'm not dressing as a nun. Okay, the last one was 6.
But the first one is.
I want to see you in a nun outfit. I think it looks sexy.
Hey, toy maker. As long as you spend money on me, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you do with the rest of it.
There you go. I never understood that. A lot of my friends, they'd be dating this girl, and she would have like this control issue about the money, and I'd say to them, get rid of her. You're not married yet. You've only been dating a few months. Why are you letting her control everything? And I was equal opportunity. It's the same thing when any of my girlfriends were dating some guy and he was the same way. I'd be like, cut this person loose. Why are you going seriously, any one of them that if they say, well, you're spending too much money on this, you're spending too much money on that, that's code words for I want the money. Like, spend it on me.
Right.
Spend it all on me. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that was my ex-husband.
Oh boy, that sounds fun.
I don't know. I guess I'm lucky. I'm not materialistic. God, what a curse that's got to be.
Well,
to wake up. I need shit.
Every day I need more. That's
consumerism.
Fucking Ferrari.
I had a job.
Tank,
I worked in a deli,
tank.
and every so often, maybe every 3 months or so, I'd get a little bit of money saved up, and I either go out and get my nails done, or I go and find a Barbie that I felt would go good with my collection. It's like, what'd you do that for? That's a waste of money. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, you can turn around and sell them in a few years and buy a house when you retire.
Guys, it's a waste of money, but let me put on like 100-pound makeup to make me look superficially pretty. Yeah.
Oh, you guys want to hear my list?
What?
Sure.
Let's see. Let me bring it up. Just posted it. Okay, here is my 5 deal breakers in 5 words, and there are 5, of course, things. And, my first one is I can't live with cats. My second one was I don't like Parmesan cheese. The third one is I don't like Impressionist art. The fourth one is I don't like black tea. And the fifth one is I don't like snowy days.
Well, those are all kind of good.
Well, it's a good thing you're not dating me.
And my last little thing, I said, you get 1 mulligan. Further than that, fuck right off.
I like the snow.
I still have yet to build a snowman.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
God.
It's overrated.
Do you want to build a snowman?
So if a chick wants to date me, she's going to have to be pretty well versed in Impressionist art.
Yeah. Hey guys, you want to build a snowman out of pedophile blood and body parts?
And feed it to the sharks.
Feed it to the space commies.
I totally don't. But get at me after the stream is over and it's not live anymore.
Fucking communists. You heard that they elected a communist in Queens, right?
I thought it was socialist, wasn't it?
The same difference.
Well, I mean, they're the same thing. They're
They're actually not the same thing, but to the people that think that they're socialist or communist and have literally no idea the difference between the two, they are the same thing. So,
then break it down.
I heard basically a socialist is a communist that doesn't have the power to take shit from you by force.
That is kind of backwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's kind of a little backwards.
Yeah, socialism is where the state has authority over the means of production, and communism is where the people or the workers, more specifically, have ownership over the means of production.
Oh,
Although they usually end up in the same way, regardless.
Exactly.
Usually, communists use that line to get socialists into power.
Exactly, because communism doesn't work, and it can't work because human nature.
It doesn't work because we've not gotten to the point of scarcity. If
it doesn't work, because even if we got to the point of scarcity, it wouldn't work. It doesn't work for the same reason that anarchy doesn't work, because eventually somewhere down the line where people have all these choices and they're like, oh man, this is great, we can just do everything. They'll be like, well, you know what? I'm a human being and I'm actually naturally lazy. So can't we just hire some other individual force to do this job for us? Because I really want to get back to like sitting on my ass and drinking like margaritas and stuff and not being responsible anymore. And
Stop talking about me.
Right, exactly. So
I'm just saying, like, I think the only way that it could work is if there was no need to compete anymore.
And there's always
going to be a need to compete.
There's always competition, even if it's not resource competition. It's going to be social hierarchy competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Even if there isn't technically a need for competition, the thing is, you always will need some kind of authority and hierarchy in the government or people. And creating one where absolutely no one can create any form of proper standards is going to cause problems.
Kitty.
Well, I mean,
Kitty's talking to you guys. My kitty says.
I swear, Six. Every time you get on here, your cat sounds like she's in heat.
No, she's. What the thing is that she's kind of jealous because I'm paying attention to the computer and I'm not paying attention to her.
Right.
It's
but just like everybody else, she ignored you all day until you sat down at the computer.
Oh man.
Why is this artwork up?
Oh, this is Impressionism. This is a work by Toulouse-Lautrec. It's one of my favorite paintings, and yeah.
Ooh, are we going over favorite paintings?
Yeah.
I'm the next 6 minutes. I'm cultured. Look at me. With my paintings.
I'll have you know I was an art major.
No, we're not friends anymore.
I'm not one of those art majors.
There aren't any not those art majors.
Well,
I'd say I'm pretty decent as far as an art major. I mean, it may be a radical, but I'm, thank God, not an SJW.
Really, Six, Burnside, and I are all art majors.
Oh man, see, Scoob, you got the social justice crowd in here, man. They're
Irving
just
too.
No,
yeah, well, that's not surprising at all, to be honest.
No, I wasn't an art major. I was an artist. I went to college for art, right?
Yeah. Oh, please be failed art major. Please say you didn't get into school. Please say you got gassed in World War I.
They went to university to study art.
Don't take this from me. Don't take this from me.
They went to university to study art. I went to college to draw.
Wait.
Pretty sure you missed the entire joke.
What do you mean you went to school to draw?
Yeah, like as practical application. Like
so did I. I went to a vocational school. I went to.
Sorry,
I got a BFA.
In Canada, we separate. Like you guys call all your university college. College is very specific here, as is university. If you say you're like a fine art major, that means you studied art. If you went to college for art, you did like drafting classes, graphic design.
See, I have a BFA, bachelor's in fine arts. What I got was a major in animation.
Okay.
Oh, I got the same thing. Cool.
Yeah. Where did you go, Burn?
Art Institute in Tinley Park. It does not exist anymore.
I went to the Art Institute in Schaumburg. It also doesn't exist anymore.
No fucking way. Are you shitting me? Ah! We killed our colleges. That's awesome. Ah! That's the bugs, man.
No, I did it with C4.
That's awesome as fuck.
Completely different university, but it's
Okay. How I gotta hear your story. Okay, how the fuck did you get Schaumburg to close? You had more people than us.
Dude, seriously, we not only that, we had access to the AMC 30 in Barrington, so we could we had Artimation. I know the Chicago people would come up for Artimation. So I'm fairly certain that you guys did for Tinley Park too, but yeah.
Yeah, we did. I had some of my really crappy stuff in there because they threw it all on us like last minute. It was like, okay, guys, make something for Artimation. I was like, I've got fucking stick figures. What am I supposed to do with this shit? And I wasn't the best ever.
Steven Universe. I say it may not be the right crowd, but I actually do kind of like Steven Universe. I'm not gonna lie. From a craft standpoint, it's actually really good. It's surprising.
I was going to say, I just don't get how animators are getting away with their drawings anymore.
Exactly.
People may not like the style. People may not like the style, but I do have to say it's very well animated.
Well, I'm also going off of the fact that, okay, so I'm aging myself a little bit. But I used to watch the Thundercats, and that animation was top of the line, what have you, at that time and day.
Yeah, for the time.
And let me finish.
Okay.
But now they come back with this new Thundercats in the Steven Universe animated version. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's bad. And I won't say that it's not. But by the same token, yeah, the Thundercats had a more interesting and more dynamic sort of style. But if you actually look at it from a craft standpoint, the Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Transformers were all terrible shows. Terrible. The reason why is because they were running on a very much worse
industry. The guy who watches Steven Universe?
I'm just saying they ran on a much worse standard. They had lower frame rates. They had if you've ever gone and actually analytically watched the first couple of seasons of G.I. Joe and Transformers, there's actually an episode in both of the first seasons of both of those shows where they have blatant animation errors in the first like 5 episodes. Like one of them where it was like Ghost Wolf and his Hound character were on the screen twice.
Do you know that Super Mario Brothers World sucks asshole because it only ran at 20 frames per second?
I'm just saying.
Literally the worst game of all time because
we're well aware of that. It's comparing shitty pears to shitty oranges.
Yeah.
That you can't throw
comic books. Comic books. Don't get me started on comic books at the 0.5 frames per second of the fucking comic books. Right? They're all just complete shit because frame speed.
I'm just saying there's a much different craft nowadays versus things in the past.
The thing is it's gone down.
Things in the past are not as good as you remember. They're not. They're just patently not.
But I'm just saying, if we have all this great ways to animate, why not make the Thundercats look as cool as they did back in when they came out instead of these squat?
They did in 2009. The 2009 Thundercats series was incredible. It was better designs, better animation.
Let me put a simple exclamation to that. They're all fucking high and don't really know how to draw.
It's not only that either. It's the fact that they're using a simplistic design by choice because that allows them to put more complexity into different aspects, or it allows them to create new things quicker.
Lazy.
I just found out something spectacularly amazing.
The thing is with art, just like with music, the more simplistic you make it, the less your mind actually has to go on like a journey to like find its actual meaning or the depth of it. It just makes it more simplistic, which is what we've made everything on this planet in the West. Unfortunately, due to our current situation, this is animation includes simplistic things are fucking terrible. They make simplistic people.
Here's the reason why animation though is different in that vein, is because there's so much more work that you have to do to make something animated than you do to make something like filmed. You can have 2 rubes go out there with a camera and film something and make it studio quality. Nowadays, the technology allows for that. It makes it very easy. Animation, on the other hand, it's still fairly simple, but it requires a massive team to be able to perform the same function. It requires a lot more work, a lot more man hours, a lot more time. When it comes,
irregardless of 2D or 3D, you're still looking at a fuckload to do.
Yeah, 3D is a little bit easier simply because after you've got the model and the rig, the animation is just what's going to be time consuming, which, don't get me wrong, does that
mean that comic books and like Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 1950s are the best animation around, period, by none, since every panel is literally hand drawn?
There's still hand drawn stuff made today as well.
Yeah,
you have to outsource a lot of that kind of stuff to Japan and Korea, and a little bit of France. France also does it, but for the most part,
Let's be honest,
American.
France is getting pipe bombed, so most of it's going to those.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Regardless of country of origin, 99% of all animation is actually done in Korea. But the big thing for a lot of these is that the simplistic design allows for people to create a lot more story in the simplistic design. The reason why is because you've got a design that's really easy to kind of manipulate and make. So then you're focusing a lot more time and effort on the story. It can
I can only
fall
accept
down.
that argument if the person doing the art and is the same person doing the story, because usually 9 times out of 10, those are two totally separate different teams.
Sometimes there are, sometimes there aren't. The big one is that the one who's creating the art usually is the person that creates the story at the beginning. Then they have to like either hand it off or create a writing team, so on and so forth. That's neither here nor there. But the big thing for a lot of cartoons made nowadays is the fact that there is a lot more craft involved with the actual animation, the actual stuff that you see on the screen, which it separates the sort of process and allows the writers to expand and write a better show. When you compare things like the beginning and dawn of animation on TV, you had things like the Hanna-Barbera, you had Flintstones, Jetsons, Smurfs,
Your basic
so on and so
Disney,
forth.
Yogi Bear.
You had your basic TV show animation. And if you look at that and compare it to any Disney movie, there's no comparison when it comes to the animation. The movie is far, far superior. The reason why is because they had a lot more time and effort to put into the craft in making that movie. The TV shows, they had to crank them out, an episode a week. They had to have a new episode every week.
Yeah.
You had an hour, maybe 2 of a movie. You have to have 11 minutes for a TV show. But you have to do it every week versus, over the course and period of like maybe a year, 2 years, release it and then have it be out for a couple of months and then go to direct the video. The level of, or the ability to create a better product has definitely increased with the technology, because now you can cut back on the amount of workers that you need to paint cells because you're doing everything digitally. You can cut back on the authors and have it remain, or have the authors of the TV show and have it remain a small group of the people that originally created the show. You cut back on all of the keyframers, because you'll have the person that originally had the character designer being the person that makes the keyframes.
You're starting to get awfully close to why it's simplistic.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, because they're cheap bastards and being lazy.
Because we don't have to employ a bunch of people to do this stuff, and
Can
we
I
only have to work
interject
something out of the
somewhat
year. We don't have to
cynical
work all year
opinion?
round making
But see,
episodes.
it makes it a little bit more personal. It makes it about the person who created the show, and that person can then expand their creativity and actually make a product that has a little bit more
value.
Depth.
Okay, but
Yeah,
that's not an argument. That doesn't automatically make something.
It doesn't automatically make something better, but it does allow for consistency, which definitely wasn't the case in something a bit more mass produced, like a regular TV show.
Well, see, that's the problem, isn't it? Because
The whole basic thing of it, technology has made it very cost effective to make shows, and being that it's more cost effective, and not only does it make it so that we can do simpler things and put more story depth and what have you in there, but look at your audience compared to the 80s when cartoons first started coming around to now. Back in the 80s, people were interesting yet simplistic. Now it's the complete other way around. You're catering to a bunch of masturbating Neanderthal.
No. People haven't been more simplistic than they are now.
A point that was made to me
What's the
when I
difference
was
between simple and simplistic?
Okay, can I interject with a somewhat cynical opinion, because I think there's a few points being missed here when we're talking about these cartoons.
Sure, go ahead, dude.
Generally, the thing is, I understand the nature of simplicity. After all, it is animation. That shit is expensive. There's no way to cut it. You're going to need some way to at least, make those episodes out and, make sure you don't go underwater for all the expenses you're putting out, just to make some animation. The problem I have with the situation, though, is I think people are forgetting the corporate side of the situation, which is a lot of these shows they keep bringing out are shit. And I'm not talking about in terms of animation. I'm turning that the writing is shit. See, I can excuse the shitty animation for good writing, and at least in a way making their own style in a simplistic manner. But that rarely happens with half of these shows. Most of them are shows that are old, that they bring back just to entice fans from the old series.
Yeah,
then they dumb it down, and the writing's really shit, just as a way to make some desperate cash.
Yeah, there is definitely a point there, and I agree. There are some that are better written than others. Usually, those tend to do better and have 1,000,000,007 seasons versus maybe 1 or 2. I don't necessarily think the corporate aspect of it is necessarily a bad thing, because it gives them backers to allow the expansion of the product, much further than it normally would. But there is something to be said for that interference definitely affecting the writing of the show, and those that are a bit more micromanaged are usually the ones that tend to be pretty bad, and don't last very long.
There was one point that was made to me about a few years back. You guys remember the original Teen Titans, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought out the Teen Titan Go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was discussing this with my mom one day, and she goes, well, they probably just did it just to make it more pleasing and aesthetic to younger children. Because I remember growing up, I was a teen when this came out, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. But for all of them to be that way is just, I don't know, it racks my mind.
Wasn't like the new Scooby-Doo like really fucking awful with his art style, and the writing was dog shit
Yes.
too?
Yes.
Yeah,
The Stay Cool Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it was bad.
That one was absolutely atrocious.
That was one they should have left alone.
The other one that they did that was a little bit better was I can't remember the name of it now. The What's New Scooby-Doo was the last one that actually was traditionally like the Scooby-Doo movies they did after the 60s series, which was actually well animated. But I think it only had 3 TV seasons because it was ridiculously difficult to produce.
You ever see the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo?
Oh yeah, with Vincent Price. Fuck yeah.
I think I did see that a while ago when I was a kid. My favorite one was Moonstar Island. Oh, that one was cool as fuck.
Oh, you mean on Zombie Island? Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was a fairly good movie. I kind of enjoyed that one. But and funny thing is, again, that to rehash the point, that was actually the same art style as What's New Scooby-Doo. And What's New Scooby-Doo actually had a bunch of punk rock bands doing the Chase song. Like how in the 60s they had rock and roll bands do the chase scene songs. For What's New Scooby-Doo, they had a lot of 90s ska and punk bands. One of my favorites was there was one time I was watching one of the episodes, and I'm just thinking along with the lyrics, and I'm like, hey, wait a second, it's fucking Less Than Jake,
right?
But
what was it? It was Less Than Jake. Didn't Me First and the Gimme Gimmes do one of their songs there too?
I could have sworn they did. I do know that the intro was done by Simple Plan.
It was Simple Plan. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I heard Bouncing Souls one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bouncing Souls.
It's possible.
Ramones, I know, was in there several times, but Yeah, the one that you were talking about is called Stay Cool Scooby-Doo, and it was awful, and it fell apart. The reason why is because they had they hit the hat trick. They had shitty animation, they had shitty writing, and then they had absolutely no marketing for it. There was no one that wanted to see the show. There was no one wanting to write for the show, and no one wanting to animate for the show. So it was dead on arrival. Teen Titans Go, the reason why that is still around, and they actually made a movie of it, is because I think that they had this IP, this regular, this sort of easily recognizable IP with the original Teen Titans TV show.
Uh-huh.
They could adapt that and do something, like a traditional cartoon where it didn't have to be beholden to the comic books like the original Teen Titans show was, at least a little bit. Then they made a sort of regular cartoon. The thing that I think a lot of the reason why I think it's a little bit of an underrated show, I'm not going to say it's great, I'm not going to say it's a brilliant show, but the reason why I think it's a little underrated is because there are a lot of jokes and references in that show that comic book fans and adults would get way over kids, and it makes me actually think that it's built a little bit more for the adults and comic book fans than it is children, because it may have bright colors, it may have simplistic characters, but it has adult themes.
On a different note, that's simply to keep parents entertained while they're sitting their kids in front of the TV. To watch the
well, yeah, because I'm sure every last one of us has sat down in front of the screen watching an episode of Simpsons, not knowing what the hell was actually going on. But mom and dad were back there laughing their ass off about the joke that was,
because
just
children
ran
don't
off.
watch shows for the fucking content.
Yeah, Ed and Eddie was the best example of that. That was chock full of adult jokes.
Oh,
yes, it was.
That was. I'll say this: as much as I actually don't mind Steven Universe, it is no Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah,
I fucking
Ed,
love
and Eddie
that
was
show.
fucking
I miss
awesome.
that show.
Just the crazy shit Eddie would come up with to try and make a fucking quarter. Just
I
a
know.
fucking. It's like. You found all this crap. You had to at least spend $40. You're trying to make a fucking quarter?
I keep seeing it pop up on my Twitter. There's a promoted tweet that I keep seeing getting popped up. It's like "Destroy Things" is the name of the Twitter account, and it's a jet engine blasting against a giant jawbreaker and melting it. So I immediately go into that tweet and respond with the 3 Eds, just going like, "Ah!"
Well, what's worse is every time he made the quarter, he ended up refunding it anyway.
Or losing it, yeah.
Or losing it.
Stupid bird stole my quarter, flew away with it. Stupid.
What's this? Our attempts to get shit taste in art. Well, I don't really mind the animation of Steven Universe. I think it's kind of strange that they didn't really have like a standardized set of rules or the characters' heights and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the characters are like 1 second, the characters like short, and next second they're fucking tall as a skyscraper.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
There's
my problem is the exposing of some of the weird social justice political shit in it, but that's another day. I think that's already been talked about.
Well, here's the thing about that too, is that I don't think it's necessarily a show. I think it's a lot of the people that are interpreting the show that are getting that social justice vibe. Because I mean, Rebecca Sugar actually was asked about that. This is like, how does it feel to be the first, LGBT positive kids show? And she goes, they're fucking rocks. They're not lesbians. They're rocks. What the?
While they molest each other like lesbians. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
That's how lesbians molest each other.
Can you repeat that? What did she say? I got to hear that again.
She said they're rocks. They're not lesbians. They're rocks.
While they have sex, which is called fusion. And
they're rocks. Literal rocks. Oh my god, that's funny.
And it's like she just sits there and says that they're sentient space rocks.
That's funny. That's awesome.
When it was the reason why is because there was a whole like huge invasion from the Tumblerettes given Steven Universe. Of course, like any fandom, it's gonna have 1,000,000,007 fucking people on Tumblr sitting there talking about how great it's there for lesbian LGBT representation bullshit.
Oh, the shippers, you mean?
No, yeah. Well, that's just Tumblr in and of itself.
I'm saying I'm kind of thankful to the evils of the Steven Universe because they make us furries look better in comparison. Now we get to enjoy people respecting us a bit more.
Well,
people are so awful.
Oh, don't get me wrong; they are awful. Any fandom, never take part in fandom.
Never.
Just yeah. But no, there's
I feel I've avoided the Rick and Morty fandom because all the other fans I've seen are fucking out of their mind.
That guy at fucking McDonald's.
I like it.
That's what I thought. Pickle Rick! Pickle Rick, I'm so intelligent.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you retards? You're going back to fucking sauce, and on top of that, they're all leaping around like a bunch of fucking lunatics and shit. And I was like, you people are mentally retarded. They're like, oh, I'm gonna be a rocket scientist. No, you're gonna be a mentally retarded dumbass.
You know, you get better tasting Szechuan sauce.
No, you guys are wrong because man, that was just a joke. That's what they said. It was just a joke, man.
Well, you know,
you're looking too far into it. It's just a joke.
The problem I've got with Rick and Morty is the fact that the first season was fairly good. The second season, it was okay. I've not even watched any of the third season because I know for a fact that Dan Harmon is one of those farts.
They actually got the third season done.
Oh yeah, dude, it's already out. It's been out for a
while. They're on season 4 now.
Yeah, that's what the whole Szechuan sauce thing was about.
No, they're not on season 4 as far as I heard. They canceled it.
Season 3.
Yeah. Season 3 is the Szechuan sauce thing. But
yeah,
all right. I wasn't even sure if they're even making season 3 because with the whole dumb thing they have season 2 is, yeah, we're not gonna get it done. We're gonna drink like a bunch of jagoffs, make you spend your money. Here, fuckers, have some T-shirts. You know, they're just such jagoffs of fans. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad I bootleg your fucking shit now, you fucking sodomites.
I don't blame Justin Roiland because he is really the everything of that show. If it weren't for Justin Roiland's ability to improv, there wouldn't be a Rick and Morty. Because the writing of that show is getting so fucking pretentious that even Justin Roiland's improv cannot save it.
Pretentious? Wait, what do you mean? What happened this time?
Dan Harmon is straight up one of those fart huffers. He really is. He's a you know, I'm so funny, I'm so hilarious sort of comedian that it's.
But fuck! Anyway. He's one of those aristocratic goat fuckers.
Yeah, well, he's also inundated with a ton of social justice on Twitter. Yeah, don't ever meet your heroes, kids. But anyway,
lovely, great.
Or don't blindly have heroes that you don't know anything about.
That's true too.
True.
You know, I was okay with him a little bit because he was you know, writing shows that I dug, and then I found out who he really was and said, no, I'll pass. But no, the you know, going back on the whole thing with fandom, did you guys know, like, and this is coming from someone who actually kind of digs Steven Universe, I think it's actually a fairly good show, that there was a person who was bullied off of Tumblr and attempted suicide.
Oh no!
Because she dared to draw one of the characters.
Did she do it?
That's pretty much the reason why people started respecting the furries, and that's how bad it got.
Well,
did she do it? Did she kill herself?
No, she didn't.
She supposedly attempted it. Yeah,
but she didn't.
This story sucks.
But
did I say that out loud? Shit.
All she did was draw one character that has been drawn in the show as fat, not fat.
Yep.
So the body positive Tumblerettes pounced on her. And you know, there was all sorts of shit like that.
So a bunch of fat chicks dogpiled onto her, and she
dogpiled her, and she did
she die?
No, she did not.
God, the story keeps sucking.
Well, all I'm saying is that because of that,
does anybody from Tumblr die in this story?
No, unfortunately.
This story sucks.
4chan raids, Tumblr, does somebody die as a result?
You know, this is gonna sound horrible, and I'm probably gonna get like chased now by a bunch of body positive feminists. But when you said,
don't worry, they're fat. They'll get over it. And
Yeah, they'll
be able to outwalk them. So
You said that.
don't worry.
You said that.
Just throw some Ben and Jerry's pints behind you. Like the classic chase scenes where they run through the halls and they like knock over the coat rack and stuff. And they have to hop over. Just throw Ben and Jerry's pints behind you and they'll stop instantly.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said,
you have to drop a spoon. just the pint.
I was thinking when you said that they get dogpiled. I was thinking of that scene. There's a cartoon where Goofy is lifting weights, and the weights crack the floor, and he goes through the floor, and the carpet goes after him, and everything gets pulled in after him underneath. I was just thinking to myself, they dogpile this poor girl. They're going to go through the floor, and everything is going to go right with them.
Yes, exactly. But no, the thing about it is, though, is that, and the point I'm trying to make is that Rebecca Sugar herself came out in condemnation of these people that did this to this girl. And obviously she's not on Tumblr anymore. So I think that...
Which character was this that she drew? I
believe the character named Rose. This is supposed to be the main character's mom.
Yes.
What show is this from?
Steven Universe.
Rebecca Sugar sounds like a very good employee who will literally say anything not to lose a massive amount of fans or have any type of social upheaval against their show that they're making lots of money on.
Yeah,
well, I'm just
the point.
That's pretty much what I'm getting from Rebecca Sugar. I don't think she actually necessarily believes or disbelieves in the things that she's saying. It kind of just sounds like these are your pretty standard things that you say when things happen. Like, oh no, that wasn't it. Everybody just calm down. It's okay. Keep watching the show. It's great. Buy our stuff.
Given the inundation of people getting righteously indignant at Marvel, I would say that that's a step in the right direction.
No, like I said, it's a good thing. It doesn't sound like she actually. I would stray away from saying she doesn't believe these things, and I would just keep it right on course and say she sounds like a good employee.
Well,
it's not even actually a step in the right direction. It's where the direction should fucking be.
Yes, it should. That's the thing is like there's far too many people that are trying to make politically charged content nowadays. Be it
every single one of those goat fuckers should fuck off and make their own shit if they want it so goddamn bad. Stop harassing people to do their work.
Actually make a fucking point of making pure propaganda trying to attack their opponents.
Well, it's not even
fuckers.
You make a product, and it's fine if it's politically charged if it's your own content and you're distributing it yourself. The problem that a lot of people are having now is when they take established characters and do that sort of thing. That's what's been happening with comic book industry for forever. Yeah. The problem, I think, is coming down with the fact that there's for cartoons at least, that's fairly been missed. A lot of people are reading that kind of shit into cartoons rather than like explicitly like it is in comic books. So I think cartoons are a little bit more of a safe haven for the politically neutral. There still can be certain politically charged sort of things coming out that are cartoons, but at the same time, it's not explicitly that direction like it is with comic books. So overall, I think that cartoons are in a better place nowadays than they have ever been. And I'll just leave it at that. I know we've been on a long tangent about it.
No, you leave. You fucking leave.
I'm not cynical enough. I'm too naive. I get it. I know, but
well, I mean,
it's all good, man. Hey, I'm right there with you, Quiz. Wow, I don't know. I just want all these goat fuckers to go off and die.
Yeah. Well, it's have fun doing your political stuff, but don't expect.
What, am I losing signal or something?
You were.
Yep.
Have fun doing your political stuff. Just don't expect it to be a commercial success because you're going to alienate half of your audience automatically.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
That's what's got me doing this shit. That's why I use the Mickey
I'm not
avatar.
gonna alienate them. They don't spend money anyways. They spend that mommy and daddy's money, and they bitch about everything. If I'm going to sell something to people, I'm gonna sell to people that work for a living, so I know they'll actually have a couple bucks to go and spend on my bullshit.
You guys are
You know?
you guys are either forgetting or don't know the fundamental rule that this is rule 0 for advertising. This is the rule they never speak of, and you have to be in advanced advertising classes. And I don't even think they teach them in classes anymore. The way colleges are going, but you probably get this like when you get your first job in advertising. Some top dog probably pulls you aside and like, hey, here's the thing, because to be an advertiser, you have to like it's very, very cutthroat. Like the advertising game is incredibly cutthroat. I've got family that work in it and they make a lot of money. But it's not this like nice, wholesome like job. It's like some straight up Wolf of Wall Street type shit. Like their whole job is to literally milk you of all your money by any means necessary. Like that's literally their job. And they do it through any way they fucking can, which in today's world is subversion, psychological subversion, emotional subversion. So anyway, the unspoken golden rule in advertising, right? And since all TV is based on advertising anymore, and if you want to get on TV, you literally have to cuck to advertising. Otherwise, you literally won't make any money. Straight white men, especially straight white men over the age of 24, are the most difficult by like 10 group of people to advertise to. They think about what they want. They're less materialistic than any of the other groups. They actually shop around. They do that whole thing where they shop around and they compare and stuff, and they understand that the same ingredients in product Y that's $20 is the same ingredients in product X, which is like $7.99. So they're really hard to advertise to. The easiest group of people to advertise to is women, especially black women, and very close next to them is white women, which might explain why a lot of the shows, I'm not trying to get Alex Jonesy or anything here, right? But I know a thing or two. It might explain why a lot of things in TV seem to be gearing men towards being effeminized and wanting to be more feminine, because part of being feminine is looking good and having the best stuff and being a social status. And if we could just get all those white men to want to be just like women, they'll buy women's products, which are literally the same as men's products. Like if you look at women's go to the store next time you're at the store and look at women's shampoo and look at men's shampoo and men's deodorant and women's deodorant and all that stuff. It's more expensive and it has an extra fragrance in it, and it's more expensive, like 3 times as much expensive.
Basically, just follow the money and you'll see the true intentions behind all of it.
It's literally the same stuff. Here's a real easy one, women. You'll notice that that women's clothes, while they use substantially less fabric, right? Because you're covering less of the body, you have smaller frames and stuff. They're 4 or 5 times as much as a man's pair of pants, which has about 6 times as much fabric and about 6 times as much manufacturing into it. And it costs the company about 6 times as much to actually produce. Yet your garments that literally just come off the line and just fucking fly off the line. $50 for a fucking t-shirt. But that's cool, because you guys as a whole, I'm not saying that any of you here individually or any individual out there, but as a whole, generally statistically speaking, in the realms of probability and analysis that these people in the advertisement game do, as a whole, you guys don't pay attention to any of that fucking shit. You want it because it's fucking pretty. You have a very simple mind. And you're like, oh, I don't care. And 9 times out of 10, you're not spending your own fucking money anyway. Of course, that's kind of changed. So the advertisement's kind of swaying a little bit away from that too. And then up you have black men in black society as in general. This isn't really a hard one to explain. I don't think anybody's not seen the guy that literally rides the bus, has no car. He's like in his 30s, but he's got about $500 worth of clothes on. Yeah. So
12 gold chains.
So next time you watch a commercial, just remember that when you see the white male as like the joke or the butt of the commercial, like what was the last one I just saw? Like a charbroil. They got these charbroil grill commercials that keep popping up on YouTube and shit. Like the white guy is always like falling over or whatever, and then like the black guy and a white chick like laugh at him like, and the people will all run around and they'll be like, oh, this is the they're trying to replace us in the ethno states and all this other stuff. It's like not necessarily, but yes, not the way you think you're trying to be replaced. But yes, they are definitely trying to replace you. They're trying to replace your wallets. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about these other people. They give a fuck about the green in their pockets. And now that we've created jobs and social programs and you know, forced employment and diversity hiring and all this other stuff, that also too, unironically, if you think about it, like this is why they don't mention this fucking rule, and this is why they don't talk about it in school. This is why the only reason I know about it is because I have family that's been in the game for 25 fucking years doing this. This is the only reason I know about this shit. The reason they don't say this is because it breaks the lid on fucking pretty much everything in the fucking media.
Yep.
White men don't get catered to because you don't fucking spend money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your opinion doesn't matter because you don't pay the money of the advertisers for the TV programs that get paid by the advertisements, right? So you don't get programming anymore. Like it used to be back in the day, it was super easy. You just put a hot chick, half-naked hot chick in anything, and that's how you sell to men. That was like literally the only way, is to appeal to the man's sexual appetite. We're not allowed to do that anymore, are we?
Nope.
Yep. Explain a little bit. Is this like, do things start to fall in place when you get this little red pill? It's amazing. Wait till you start watching fucking commercials. You're gonna be like, God damn it, I feel sick to my stomach right now.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop out. I'm literally falling asleep.
All right.
I'm
also gonna hop out. I've got
Tyra to hop in. Actually, Quiz, Tyra wants to talk to you.
Who?
The guy that's about to hop in after me.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you're not doing after hours, Tara?
No, I'm fucking tired.
Okay.
I gotta go do something real quick, so I'll be back later if I can. If not, maybe out after hours. So yeah, see ya.
Doing after hours.
All right.
So good talk.
Always. See you later, Cass. See you later, Tara.
Yeah, Quiz, the man in the chat has some disagreements with some of your leanings on animation.
I streamed with this gentleman last night. He's actually very polite.
I'm not looking at chat here.
Tyra, what's up?
There we go. Transformers, bite me.
You better be polite because his avatar sucks. Got him. Am I doing that too prematurely? I think I'm doing that too prematurely. Hi, how are you? Nobody was saying anything about you except nice things. I promise.
Yeah, I made this avatar myself. I'll commission a better one later.
He heard us. Fuck.
You know your avatar's really good covered in chocolate, right?
Ew. I say a buddy of mine had was a scorpion that was dipped in banana flavored hard candy. I had one that was grape flavored with a cricket in it. It was great until you got down to the cricket, and then it was like it tasted like burnt popcorn. It was gross.
It's weird. It sounds like you're not supposed to eat bugs. It's strange. That is strange.
There's a drink called a grasshopper. It's not bad. I'm not a mixed drink guy.
Yeah, for the drink, like mint and cream de menthe and milk. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I made a grasshopper cake once. That was a minty chocolate cake. That was pretty good.
Anyway, so let's see. I'm going to try to keep a cool head. So Inquisitor,
yes.
I like some of your points, but you're wrong on other things. So,
Like?
all right. For example, I think it's important to point out, like when you say, "Oh, this Transformers episode had a ton of errors and stuff." Yes, several of the Transformer episodes were animated by a group called ACOM. ACOM was known for their cheap South Korean animation at the time. Yeah, they're pretty horrible. G.I. Joe used them a lot more, and I think season 2 of Transformers, after the post-movie episodes, used them a lot more. Season 3, sorry. So, yeah, ACOM was bad, but when Toei, the Japanese animator, did the episodes, those tended to be pretty good for their time. And
Yeah,
the Transformers
Toei's fucking
1980...
Toei's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and the Transformers 1986 movie, where they actually put a budget in, that still holds up today. That is one of the best works of animation, period.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The main disagreement I have with you And I'll clarify, like the Thundercats 2011 and say like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like those examples of modern animation, I think those are better than the 80s. I will agree with you on those.
Yes.
But where I'm going to disagree with you is when you talk about like the simplified designs and stuff like that. If you compare the character models from the 80s to the character models for like a Steven Universe or something like that, the character models from the 80s are much better because they're designed to promote the classic, you know, good versus evil, you know, beauty versus ugly. You know, the bad guys are ugly, the good guys are good to look at. Them, you know, muscular men and so on. Whereas Steven Universe, Sugar has already confessed that the whole point of Steven Universe is to shove a progressive agenda on kids. She has blatantly admitted this. She hates quote unquote toxic masculinity. That's why Steven Universe is so soft and kind of like gender queer looking, I think is the right term for it. But the model of it is ugly, and it's ugly on purpose. It's a deliberate ugliness. The goal is to make kids think that ugliness is okay. This goes back to a broader art movements of like some of the modern art where they're like, oh yeah, this weird shoe here, this is art. No, it isn't. That's crap.
This nigga woke as fuck. I'm sorry I made fun of your avatar. Me and you are friends now.
Universe, as well as other cartoons, is to make kids convinced that ugly art is beautiful. Whereas in the 80s, they did not have that. By that standard, the 80s cartoons were better art than many modern cartoons.
Pyro, going with your confession, then I'm one fucking hell of a villain.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's one of my arguments on the point. I think I had several other points to disagree with you on. That's the one I can remember. Do you have a counter? To that?
Ladies and gents, I gotta let you guys go. I just got home, so I'm gonna go get out of my work uniform and stuff my face and probably have a couple beers.
All right.
The guys have been calling me since I got out.
Have a good evening, Burnside.
You hopping in after hours, Burnside?
Depends on how sober I am. Like, I dropped out because my techie was calling me like, "Where are you? We're getting plastered and rah." So depends on how sober I am, in all honesty.
Okay. Just figured I'd ask.
I think that was what I was trying.
He fucking told me. Fuck me, right?
Actually, I did have a point that you brought up, Burnside, about the Marvel comics that I wanted to bring up, but I'll do that next.
Okay, sure.
I just want to let Inquisitor reply. Like, do you have? I mean, because you said you like Steven Universe, and I'm sorry, I despise Steven Universe with the force of 1,000 suns. Like, it is garbage pandered to kids, and that ticks me off.
Power level so quickly.
I don't necessarily think it is because there's a lot going on with the design that I think works a little bit better for things like the way they've written a lot of the show is like coming of age stories for individual episodes and so on and so forth. I find that a lot of that actually works fairly well as a pastel painting, which is what I see a lot of what the earlier show had to offer. A little bit less so now. If you look at the way the character designs were in the early show, there were a lot of things that were drawn on inspiration from things like Indian myth. The multi-armed gods and goddesses. You had certain design characteristics that I think worked as a sort of coming-of-age myth and legend sort of thing. Certainly, as the show has progressed, a lot of that has kind of fallen by the wayside. But I do think that a lot of that does hold up, even with a little bit more of a simplistic design. I think, it's much more evocative of, say, something like a watercolor painting than it would be to something that, the Thundercats would be like a comic book drawing. Also, I would venture that the Thundercats, while design-wise, it was great. A lot of it falls down by the fact that if you compare it now with modern animation, it just doesn't hold up. a lot of the action sequences are stilted, awkward. A lot of times you can't even tell what the scene transition is going to be from point A to point B.
Sure.
What the action is. A lot of that does nothing but hurts the show. And if it's an action show, that's kind of the point.
Right.
So,
I'll agree with you. The 80s Thundercats was, it had flaws. I'm not arguing the 80s Thundercats was good. I do like the 2011 Thundercats. I thought that really brought it forward. And
it's a great
made
show.
It modern. That was good.
And the problem I have with the new Thundercats, it's not necessarily the designs, although it is bad. It's not necessarily the fact that they're rebooting it because they've done it before. It's the fact that they've, all of these things together compared to what they did before, which was so good, which was the 2009, 2011 Thundercats. It was such a great show, and it ended abruptly. They never resolved anything. That is what they should have invested their time and money in, to making that show.
Yeah, no, I think we're in agreement on that one. Same with like Teen Titans Go. Like they should have invested their money into Young Justice, not Teen Titans Go.
There you go. There you go. I will 100% agree with that. I said before how I think the Teen Titans Go actually is a little bit underrated because of the sort of digs at comic book readers and adults. Those sorts of things, the jokes, the references, so on and so forth. Those it makes it seem like it's catering to that audience. But if they were to take that effort and that money and put it into Young Justice, oh my God, I would 100% agree with you. 100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is why I tried to keep myself calm to not like lash out at you personally, because I was pretty sure we probably agreed on some stuff. I was just like, you managed to push a couple of my buttons on some of your points.
The problem is that we're talking about could-be's, not ours.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have to live with the reality that we're in. So I'm just saying that with what we have, it's the best that you could possibly get, and it's not as bad as a lot of people might think. It's not the doom and gloom.
I'm going to highly recommend everyone here or anyone viewers watch E:*R. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He did a great video on Steven Universe and its problems, why it is problematic in a lot of ways. I would recommend people watch that. He states the case better than I can. The only other point I had was on the comic books. Burnside brought it up. I think you did too. Of, well, hey, if you want political comics or you want comics with certain slant, go out and make your own. People have tried. People are. Diversity in Comics had raised over like $300,000 for his Jawbreakers, which is not a political comic.
I was going to say, and neither is Cyberfrog, and they both raised a ton more money.
Right. And the reaction, though, the problem here where the flack is coming is you have comic pros like Mark Waid and several others in the industry have been actively opposing, like blacklisting these guys. So, it's the SJW playbook, we're taking over this space. We're going to make it a safe space. You need to leave. Go make your own safe space. Then when you try to, they start attacking and saying, no, that's white supremacist now because you're a bunch of white people. And that's what we have going on in comics. That's why people are pissed off, justifiably so. They won't, even if you go off and do your own thing, they won't leave you alone.
And see, that's the major difference here is that I'm talking about that for them. That's what I expect, but that's not what they're giving us. So, when I say go off and do your own political comics, that's what I expect them to do. I don't expect them to block people from making their own comics.
I may have misunderstood that.
Hold on, you guys are missing something. They can't go off and make their own comics because no one will pay for them. That's why they have to pressure big companies into letting them steal and hijack their characters.
Yes.
Yep.
Or inject their own characters as bad fan fiction because there is no other explanation for America Chavez and Gwenpool.
Well, okay. America Chavez, when first created, was okay because she was from an earlier series, and when she first premiered, she was okay. It's only when Gabby Rivera got her hands on her that she went completely south and was just bad across the board.
She was always a character.
Rivera, is that the one that looks like my cousin Umberto?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Gabby is for her.
But I would venture a statement here, and you can feel free to debate it. But America Chavez was always meant to be this character. She's Latina, even though she's an alien. She's a lesbian.
Well, she started as bi, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gabby made her a lesbian.
And she's her costume is extremely derivative of Captain America. She was meant to be, when Captain America went Hail Hydra, meant to be the new America. That's just, it didn't, the chips didn't fall that way, but it was pretty transparent that that's kind of what they were going for.
Yeah, I think her Young Patriot was another one. I would have liked to see Young Patriot take up the shield. I think he was a good character for few issues. I would have liked to see that. But yeah, no, the Marvel, the SJW Infection, because what they do is they get into the talent, and then they go into the marketing, and then they go into the higher ups, and that's how they control. Like Tom Brevoort is one of them. That's how they have that foothold in there. Not even the new guy, Belusky, not Belusky. He can't root him out like he should.
Cebulski, yeah.
Actually,
guys, I hate to interrupt.
A lot of people
We're
are
at the
forgetting
top
this.
of the hour.
No, hold on. I think a lot of people are still forgetting. You guys don't, like, have you guys already forgotten the Five Guys thing?
What?
From Zoe Quinn?
Wow, yeah, like that's how half of this stuff gets done. Is they literally are just fucking these guys who are complete fucking losers and can never, even though they have all this money and all this other stuff, they're completely socially awkward. They can't get no fucking tail. They go in there, they throw fucking pussy and promises at them, just like fucking women do. Even though you know we're all equal and stuff, and you know whatever. That's a whole other fucking can of worms. But they use this stuff like that wasn't just an isolated incident, my dudes. Like
yeah.
No, you can be a feminist and still literally be a woman and think exactly like women do and know exactly what women know about their bodies and men's bodies. Like,
yeah, it is commonly suspected that Heather Antos, one of the editors of the Star Wars titles and one of the Milkshake Girls, that she was doing that with some of the editors there at Marvel. Yeah, that is
absolutely.
Yeah, that is the dominant industry.
I hate. What I was trying to say, Tyro, if you could do me a favor, I made you a moderator, so if you can add the link to that video into the chat that you were talking about, you could. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Also, yeah, if you want to post it up in my Discord, you could just put it in the general room. It don't matter. Like, I don't really have a specific room for anything. As I'm going to say today, we're actually about a minute or two over. Six actually had to leave. I'm going to probably be hopping into another stream, hopping into the cunt stream really quick to bullshit with them and probably try to drag them over to After Hours. Huh?
Hash something out with them, right?
Sorry?
You're the one that's talking about how boring they were. He's going to go in there fist raise, right?
I'm actually gonna. Well, last week I dragged them over into our stream, and we had an After Hours that lasted like until like 6 in the morning or whatever. It was like an epic After Hours.
Let me.
I'm gonna try to do this.
On my outro, I'll mention it. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. No, but that was all. So I was just gonna go hang out with the guys for a few minutes on their stream and listen to the horrendous jokes, and they're gonna hop into After Hours with us. That way, that'll give Irv enough time to set up his After Hours, and
okay.
Yeah, that's 6 one. He's got to hop out of here. So
yeah, guys, I have to adult tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
So
fucking pussy.
We're gonna end this now. We're gonna go through our outros.
Here's what he eats.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into the After Hours right now. All right. So we're just gonna do our quick outros. Quiz. You got anything cooking?
Inquisitor 8.1, Inquisitor 8_1 on Twitter, and Minions of the Zoo Monday nights. I paint Warhammer minis.
Nice.
Talk a bunch of shit.
I talk a bunch of shit.
Anything going on?
I'm Irving Twin, the Angry Drunk Canadian. Yeah, I am brewing a couple of videos. Hopefully I can record them, put them out tomorrow. And just regarding the cunt stream, I jumped on their stream, was this last weekend? Gave myself a little brain damage drinking the absinthe for them. I gained 11 subs just being on their stream, okay? So don't knock the cunt stream.
I'm not knocking the cunt stream. I was a callback. You know,
People were just like, "Holy shit, he switched from bourbon to absinthe because he ran out of bourbon." Yeah, let's sub to that guy.
Yeah, absinthe is good stuff, man.
Oh yeah,
It is good stuff. I just wish it was legal here.
Still got just a little.
Oh, Peg, you got anything to show?
You know, I don't have anything to show, but I am Pig and Butterfly Kitten. Like I said, be looking. I might be putting out some new content, like, you know, subscribe, what have you.
All right, cool. What do you got in the works? Anything at all, brother? All right then.
Was he talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
He got
Cat
out.
screaming. He was talking to Porpoise.
Yeah, I just heard. All I heard was cats in the background.
Oh shit!
It's crazy. I thought I was suffering from a massive brain hemorrhage or something. So I was actually happy for a moment. I was honestly a little excited there for a minute. I kind of got a semi. I was like, "Oh fuck! Today's the day I get to pass from this cruel world." And then I found out that wasn't it. So now I'm actually depressed. So thanks.
All right, well, let's cheer you up. You got anything to show?
Oive? No, don't subscribe to me. Don't watch my content. Mostly because I'm suspended from YouTube because I'm a bad boy, and I took all my content down because it was heavily getting scrutinized by antifucks. And but you wouldn't want to watch it anyway because then you'll get massively woke on a lot of things.
What to do?
You'll probably you'll probably be cynical and I don't know. Just fuck off.
Purposeful, you never made me cynical.
No, stop. You're leading these children down a bad path, my friend. You're leading them down a bad path. What you kids should do is you should not subscribe to my channel, and you should just keep going to school and eating your Wheaties and chop off your genitals and replace them with plastic genitals of the opposite gender, which, by the way, doesn't exist. And vote for more taxes. That's what you should do.
Oh God.
That's what you should do.
None of that sounds like a good idea.
No.
That's a democratic platform that they're running on.
I'm already being watched by the tubes. Okay, so I gotta be a good goy here. I'm with her.
And Cairo put the video in the chat. Cool, thank you, man.
Yep.
Let me see. We're up to Sir Wolfie. You got anything to show?
Actually, I'm working on a new content with a guy called Optimus Christ from Welcome Back, and I'm going to get an upgrade.
Awesome. Keep me posted, definitely. I want to hear details when they're everything's together and ready. All right. 6. I know you said you got to get out of here. You got anything cooking that you want to show?
Let's see. Next month, I'm going to be doing my 150th sub stream. I'm going to have some special guests, and I'll be announcing the lineup here sometime in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get that done. What else do I have? Let's see. I will not be doing my regular night next week because the work gods have scheduled me working late. So it's that I'm going to be looking for a substitute, and I'll be announcing the substitute in the next few days. What else do I got? I guess that's about all I got. I run the Next 6 Minutes YouTube channel. You got to spell out the word 6 if you want to find it, because if you don't, then you won't. I'm also on the next live streams. You can see that lovely little orange writing on my logo there. That's my live streams channel. That's where I usually do my live streams. So you can check me out there. Let's see. You guys already know my 5 deal breakers, so I can't really I can't really elaborate on that unless the list is extended to 10, which I could easily do. Still only one mulligan.
So if I accidentally use my mulligan, does that mean it still counts against me?
Yeah.
Can I get a mulligan on my mulligan? Oh shit, Medicare's got a new video. Niggas, I got to go.
Take it easy, man.
You call me, Irv?
Did Tyro go?
No, not yet.
No, Tyro's still here.
Can I sneak in there right after him?
Yeah, Tyro, and then you're gonna do yours. So Tyro, what do you got to show?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be on Low Infidelity channel. It is the new channel for Lo-Fi from the Cunt Stream. She, myself, and Zell are going to be watching Farmlands, by the documentary by Lauren Southern. We're going to have that playing, and we're going to be pausing it and giving our thoughts and commentary on it. Zell and I have already watched it. I think this will be Lo-Fi's first comment. She's from Europe, so hopefully she'll have some good insights that Americans like Zell and I won't necessarily have. That should be tomorrow around 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time.
That'll be at fucking work.
Yeah, and then I am...
It was good. It was better than I expected. So,
it is an excellent documentary. I'm pushing on everyone.
Okay. I didn't know if you already seen it or not.
Oh yeah. I watched it. I watched it first. I need to take some notes here for tomorrow. And then the other one, I'm currently working on a video on Jordan Peterson. A little bit, nothing like super harsh on him or like super boosting him. I don't think he's a god or anything like that. But just looking into why is he so popular? How has he managed to catch on? Because I think some of what underlies his popularity, other people could also use. So just breaking that down a little.
Because most of the people that like him don't have dads.
Yeah, actually, that is one of my points. He takes.
Yeah, that's why he's a father figure. It's why a lot of people liked Cosby.
I'm not.
Yeah, I point him. He's the wizard. He is the male sage figure. To use his own like love of mythos, there he's occupying the role of the Merlin essentially. He's not terrible at it. He's not the best, but he's not terrible at it. And I think more creators need to try to go after that niche. I think that's something that's been overlooked.
I would love to see
slightly
Jordan
overrated, but
I just have to interject a little joke there for Porpoise. Was it the father figure or was it the Rohypnol the reason why people liked Cosby?
I mean, a little column A, a little column B, but what does it matter? People liked him. It was great.
Oh, okay.
Tyro, are you going to be doing After Hours with us tonight?
You're doing what?
I do a show called...
Are you going to be doing After Hours?
Yeah, let me jump in right here. I do After Hours, right? I continue drinking and continue streaming. Someone will find you a link. I don't think I have direct connection to you. But yeah, if you're down, hop on in if you want. It will start for 1 o'clock. And to answer your question, I think a lot of it has to do with his fucking balls, right? He put his fucking career on the line to say what he's saying. And it's so simple and true that actually means something, right? And yeah, all the other reasons, fanboying and fatherlessness, obviously those play a part. But I think it's simply the fact that the university told him, we might have to fire you. And he said, well, then do what you got to do, and continued. And that, I think that plays a huge part.
If I can be a little bit cynical, though, is it also not the fact that he can fall back on his private practice?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'd be able to get a job at any other university. He could even just come down here to the States, and I'm sure lots of places would hire him. Just solely based
not to
on
shit on you or anything. I'm just saying, just to be cynical.
No, this is actually something we can discuss on After Hours, and he actually used to be at Harvard. So,
yeah.
He definitely wasn't worried. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's clear to everybody.
I'm jumping out here, guys. You guys take it easy.
No, you take
Bye.
Tell me what to do and then leave. God damn it, he left.
Bye, next.
He's gone.
So the After Hours starts at 1 or goes until 1?
It starts at 1.
Okay. Yeah, so there's about a 45-minute lull. Everyone gets the thing done. I hop in with these guys, a couple of jokes, and then we'll hop in together. I was gonna say, Irv, I want to send the link to the bartender. Got to talk seriously. He is Robin to your Batman.
I think he's Batman to my Robin, but yeah, sure, bring him in.
Yes. No, seriously. I mean, tell me if we don't get Tyro and bartender together. They're not like Batman and Robin because of the age difference. Like, seriously. I'm listening to you talk, and you sound like an older version of bartender. Like this kid, seriously, you got to meet this kid.
Little
Okay.
a little wiser, but all the info, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same words. I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, holy shit! I didn't notice it last night, but hey, it's
and just talking about animation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, I'm gonna end this now, guys, because I got to do a couple of things before we got after hours going.
Yep.
I want to thank Chad for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for joining all of us. You know, it's not just me here, guys. It's everyone on this panel. We've had a few guests, you know, in tonight. Obviously, we've had Arrow hopped into, so we've had 11 people on tonight. You guys know the deal. Who was here with us earlier? We had Burnside. We had Cass. You know, it's you guys know at this point. It's every week we try to bring a different thing every night, and we try to make it fun every night. So tomorrow night, Weibo is actually going to be doing something with her family. She's not going to be doing Chaos tomorrow night. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I know you wanted your Weibo fixed because she's been out, like in Greece like all last month, and then it's what it is, guys. It's Independence Day for her too. So
no problem. Family's important.
Yep. So what we're
family
gonna do
first.
is this, guys. Tomorrow night, I'm not sure who we got hosting. It's probably gonna be a guest host. It might be somebody on the panel here tonight. It might be somebody that has streamed with us. You will get the same thing that you get here every night, is to bring you the best hours and change. So to make your life a little bit better,
Why
good conversation.
are you and just say who it is?
And good entertainment. So thanks again for joining us. And until next week, when I host again on Friday, I'm Scooby3. Guys, so much for joining us. And thank you again, panel, for helping me make the show as good as it is, because it's not as good as it is without you guys. And yeah,
I'm still waiting for my ring in the mail.
Yeah, where's my paycheck?
Chat, because it's not as much fun without you guys either. So until next time, 3, 3, 1. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Good night. God bless. And goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.